Hello, 7th period story theater class. This is Miss Jessie. I am going to read your story, Skippyjon Jones, Cirque de Olé, one line at a time. The first time I read the line, I will read it one word at a time, and I'm hoping that this will help with your memorization skills and your reading skills. So please pull out your scripts and follow along. After I read it one word at a time, I will also read the line all the way through so you can understand the tempo of it and get the sense of its fluidity, or how fast or slow you should say it. Okay? Here we go. Skippyjon Jones. Skippyjon Jones was a real high wire Henry. Was a real high wire Henry. And that made his mama as worried. And that made his mama as worried as a worm in a wading pool. As a worm in a wading pool. Oh my fleas. Oh my fleas, wailed Mama Junebug Jones. Wailed Mama Junebug Jones. Come down from that wire before you break all your bones. Come down from that wire before you break all your bones. He can't hear you. He can't hear you, sang his sisters. Sang his sisters. Jujubee, Jujubee, Jezebel, Jezebel, and Jillyboo, and Jillyboo, 'cause Skippy's up in a squirrely world. 'Cause Skippy's up in a squirrely world. The girls were right. The kitty boy. The girls were right. The kitty boy was performing tail-tingling tricks on. Was performing tail-tingling tricks on. I'll say that again. Was performing tail-tingling tricks on the telephone wire above them. The telephone wire above them. That's amazing. That's amazing, gushed the girls. Gushed the girls. He should join the circus. He should join the circus. Circus berserkus. Circus berserkus, groaned Mama. Groaned Mama. I'm calling the fire department. I'm calling the fire department. Fire department? Fire department? Repeated Jillyboo. Repeated Jillyboo. Skippy's not on fire. He's on wire. Skippy's not on fire. He's on wire. But before Junebug Jones could press a button, the kitty boy did a triple spin backflip dive. The kitty boy did a triple spin backflip dive right into Mama's apron pocket. Right into Mama's apron pocket. That was really good for Chiwooloo. That was really good for Chiwooloo, said Jujubee. Said Jujubee. The word is Chihuahua. The word is Chihuahua, said Mama frazzled. Said Mama frazzled. And he is not that. Skippyjon Jones is a Siamese cat, and he is not that. Skippyjon Jones is a Siamese cat. Then she lugged her catch of the day. Then she lugged her catch of the day back to his room for a time out. Back to his room for a time out. And a big talk. And a big talk. What did you think you were doing up there? You and those squirrels on a wire in mid-air. What if you tripped and fell on your head? You'd have to spend months in a hospital bed. What did you think you were doing up there? You and those squirrels on a wire in midair? What if you tripped and fell on your head? You'd have to spend months in a hospital bed. Then, as Junebug Jones pawed at her hives, she let the truth slip about cats and 9 lives. Then, as Junebug Jones pawed at her hives, she let the truth slip about cats and 9 lives. I wish we had 9, but we only have 1. So think about that, my Siamese son. I wish we had 9, but we only have 1. So think about that, my Siamese son. Then she closed the door. Then she closed the door. The kitty boy was thinking all right about bouncing on his big boy bed. The kitty boy was thinking all right about bouncing on his big boy bed. Oh, I'm Skippyjon Jones, and I don't have 9 lives. So what's the big deal? Hey, did I just see flies? Oh, I'm Skippyjon Jones and I don't have 9 lives. So what's the big deal? Hey, did I just see flies? Indeed he did. And he chased one. Indeed he did. And he chased one over to his mirror. Over to his mirror, where he ate it. Where he ate it. Holy snack-ito. Holy snack-ito. Then he looked into the mirror and, using his very best Spanish accent, he said, then he looked in the mirror and, using his very best Spanish accent, he said, if I have but 1 life to live, muchacho, let me live it as a chihuahua. If I have but 1 life to live, muchacho, let me live it as a chihuahua. In less time than it takes a flea to fly to Florida, Skippyjon Jones put together a fine costume while he sang in a muy, muy soft voice. In less time than it takes a flea to fly to Florida, Skippyjon Jones put together a fine costume while he sang in a muy, muy soft voice. Oh, my name is Skippito Frisquito. Oh, my name is Skippito Frisquito. And then we clap twice. And I'm one handsome daredevil-ito. And I'm one handsome daredevil-ito. I'm physically fit, every part, every bit, just right for a circus pucciito. I'm physically fit, every part, every bit, just right for a circus pucciito. And then we clap twice again. In the meantime, over in the sewing nook, Mama was attempting to have a sensible conversation with the girls. In the meantime, over in the sewing nook, Mama was attempting to have a sensible conversation with the girls. Where is Jilly Boo's tutu? Where is Jilly Boo's tutu? Asked Mama. The Chiwulu has the tutu. The Chiwulu has the tutu, replied Juju B. Whatever for? Whatever for? Asked Mama. Because Chiwulus wear tutus. Because Chiwulus wear tutus, said Jezebel. And cows wear moo-moos. And cows wear moo-moos, added Juju B. And boo-boos wear band-aids. And boo-boos wear band-aids, continued Jezebel. And I need a nap. Moaned Mama. But the Chiwulu wasn't thinking of tutus, moo-moos, or boo-boos. He was thinking of flying through the air with the greatest of fleas. Just like the dog on a flying trapeze. Until thump, he planted his paws in a perfecto landing. On the turf outside the Cirque Day. Ole! Ole! Shouted his amigos los chimichangos. Hola! Hola! Hollered back. Skippyjon frisquito, the great acrobatito. To his barking buddies. Hold your ponies, Pupito. Declared Poquito Tito, the smallest of the small ones. Have you grown a bigote? No, I did not grow a mustachito. Answered the gatito. He's part of my costume. It's just part of my costume. I did that one backwards. I'm sorry. Bueno, said Don Diego, the biggest of the small ones. Said Don Diego, the biggest of the small ones? Because we need you to grow something mucho más importante. Because we need you to grow something mucho más importante. But what can be more important than a mustache, muchachos? But what can be more important than a mustache, muchachos? Asked Skippyjo. Asked Skippyjo. Los músculos. Los músculos! Said all the pupitos. Said all the pupitos. Not the lumpitos giganticos. Not the lumpitos giganticos, declared Skippyjo. Declared Skippyjo. Oh, sí, muchacho. Oh, sí, muchacho, said Poquito Tito. Said Poquito Tito. The muscles. The muscles. Then Don Diego pulled an old circus poster out of his right ear and let it unroll. Then Don Diego pulled an old circus poster out of his right ear and let it unroll. Now do you get it, dude? Now do you get it, dude? Oh, I get it all right. Oh, I get it all right, said Skippyjo. Said Skippyjo. It means I am low dog on the totem pole. It means I am low dog on the totem pole. This made the Chihuahuas twist and shout. This made the Chihuahuas twist and shout. Oh, yes, that's right, Skippyjo. Oh, yes, that's right, Skippyjo. And then they clap twice. Your cabeza is just what we need, oh. Your cabeza is just what we need, oh. And your muscles must grow just in time for the show, or else we will all crumbolito. And your muscles must grow just in time for the show, or else we will all crumbolito. Then all the perritos snuck under the skirts of the big top. Then all the perritos snuck under the skirts of the big top. First, the muchachos tippy-toed by. First, the muchachos tippy-toed by. The caballista practicing on her pony. The caballista practicing on her pony. Then they slipped past. Then they slipped past the payaso putting his paper-popping puppy through his paces. The payaso putting his paper-popping puppy through his paces. But it wasn't until they reached. But it wasn't until they reached the elefante that the pupitos had to worry. The pupitos had to worry. Watch your step, amigos. Watch your step, amigos, warned Poquito Tito. Warned Poquito Tito. We are but pulgas to her. We are but pulgas to her. We are not fleas. We are not fleas, said Skippyjo. Said Skippyjo. We are chihuahuas. We are chihuahuas! And that wasn't all the doggies had to watch out for. And that wasn't all the doggies had to watch out for. They saw leones and tigres and osos. Oh my! So the speed of it, they saw leones and tigres and osos. Oh my! Just like on Wizard of Oz. But the most dangerous animal of all, Pootsie Strungelboot, the strong dog, 80 pounds of mean, mad muscle with a meatball for a brain, who lay sleeping like a baby in his cage. Pootsie Strungelboot, the strong dog, 80 pounds of mean, mad muscle with a meatball for a brain, who lay sleeping like a baby in his cage. Let's take a peek, Pupitos. Let's take a peek, Pupitos, said Skippyjo. Let's just take his traje. Let's just take his traje, suggested Poquito Tito. Not his costume, declared Skippyjo alarmed. ¿Por qué? Because it will look mucho mejor on you, Señor. Because it will look mucho mejor on you, Señor. Then they raced like rabbits over to their dressing room. But the circus waits for no dog. So with the speed of a spitball, the Puchitos changed their Chico into a world-class perro con músculos. First they gave him a vitamina. Then they pulled on his new traje. It's too big, complained the gatito. No worries, woofed Don Diego. We will pump you up. And pump the perros did, singing. Pa pa lum pa pa lito. We'll give you the muscles you need, oh. 'Cause strong you must be for the triple TP, so we don't all go boom tumbolito. 'Cause strong you must be for the triple TP, so we don't all go boom tumbelito. Then it was the moment of truth as they floated Skippyjon Jones out under the big top. Then it was the moment of truth as they floated Skippyjon Jones out under the big top. Perros poured out from every point and piled on top of poured out from every point and piled on top of Skippyjon Jones's grande cabeza. Skippyjon Jones's grande cabeza. Up, up, up they climbed until they formed a perfecto tower of tiny, trembling chihuahuas. Up, they climbed until they formed a perfecto tower of tiny, trembling chihuahuas. And beneath the tower stood the power, tough and shaky as 5-day-old Jello. And beneath the tower stood the power, tough and shaky as 5-day-old Jello. But just as the pups were about to make circus history, Pootsie Strungleboot, the strong dog, Pootsie Strungleboot, the strong dog, strutted out into the center ring and bit the behind of his very own, strutted out into the center ring and bit the behind of his very own. Traje, traje, ole, ole, shouted the crowd. Oh no, cried Skippyjon Jones. As the tiny, trembling tower of power tumbled from his head. Ta-da! Ta-da! Blasted la banda as Skippyjon Jones flew up into the rafters like a punctured balloon. Skippyjon Jones flew up into the rafters like a punctured balloon. Woo! Woo! Hooted the crowd as the gatito, and Skippyjon Jones caught hold of El Trapecio. Then they flew through the air with the greatest of squeeze. And Skippyjon Jones caught hold of El Trapecio. Then they flew through the air with the greatest of squeeze. The brave little kittens on the flying trapeze. The brave little kittens on the flying trapeze. But just as he reached the highest point, Skippyjon Jones let go and dazzled the audience again. Skippyjon Jones let go and dazzled the audience again with a double twirly-squirly twist onto the tightrope. With a double twirly-squirly twist onto the tightrope. But the tightrope acted just like a slingshot and thwap! Thwap! It sent Skippyjon Jones up, up, up to the tippity top of the tent. Up, up, up to the tippity top of the tent. Then, shoop! Down, down, down. Shoop! Down, down, down. He dove cabeza first into the cotton candy kitten bell cannon. He dove cabeza first into the cotton candy kitten bell cannon, where Pootsie Strungelboot, the strong dog, where Pootsie Strungelboot, the strong dog, was waiting to light the fuse. Was waiting to light the fuse. Drum roll, por favor. Drum roll, por favor, ordered Don Diego. Ordered Don Diego, and then you guys do 16 of these, remember? And then the narrator says, then, kaboom! Kaboom! Skippyjon Jones, acting as El Skipito Fresquito, the great acrobatito. El Skipito Fresquito, the great acrobatito. Blasted out of the circus, out of his closet, and right out of his room. Blasted out of the circus, out of his closet, and right out of his room. Smack-a-doodle-doo! Smack-a-doodle-doo! Shouted the kitty boy as he collided. Shouted the kitty boy as he collided with his mama's head. With his mama's head. Wow! Wow! Exclaimed Jezebel. Exclaimed Jezebel. Where did he come from? Where did he come from? He came from the circus, silly. He came from the circus, silly, said Jilly-Boo. Said Jilly-Boo. Later that night, after a piece of maple mouse pie, the kitty boy made up a rhyme. The kitty boy made up a rhyme just for his mama and delivered it with a most sincere bounce. Just for his mama and delivered it with a most sincere bounce. Oh, I'm Skippyjon Jones, but you're the bee's knees, 'cause your cookin' is smokin'. Oh, I'm Skippyjon Jones, but you're the bee's knees, 'cause your cookin' is smokin'. Hey, did I just see fleas? Hey, did I just see fleas? Asked Mama, beginning to scratch. Circus fleas, replied the kitty boy proudly. Circus berserkus, muttered Mama. Get your collars out, kittens. It's going to be an itchy night. Get your collars out, kittens. It's gonna be an itchy night. All right, please work on your lines, and I will see you Monday.